Hi, I'm back with some more encouragement. My name's Chantal, and I believe the Lord has called me to share my journey with you, to encourage you, especially in this time in history where there's, goodness me, so much happening in the world, and we can become discouraged. And we don't want our hearts to faint, so we have to encourage ourselves in the Lord and encourage one another. There's a song that I love listening to. It's called Take It All by Jeremy Camp. I would just ask you to listen to it. It's available on YouTube, and it's part of his story of how, with everything that has happened in his life, he had to learn to surrender everything to God. Take it all, he says. And when I listen to the song, I kind of think about my own life, how I surrender to God. Do I surrender to God? And in my family, we talk about the 4 T's: our time, our treasure, our talent, and our temple. And all of those are gifts given to us by God. And of course, we have the free will to use those resources either for God's glory or for another kingdom's glory. And I was just sitting with that, thinking about those 4 T's and where I am in my journey of surrender. And I think when we sit with the Lord and contemplate surrender, and we feel some kind of apprehension, it's probably a sign that there are areas in our lives that are not entirely surrendered to Him. And I think all of us, I don't know, well, maybe there are people who've totally surrendered everything, but I certainly felt some apprehension with thinking about that. So that probably means that there are areas in my life that are not entirely surrendered to God. But you can be honest with God. He knows everything in any case, but He wants us to actually bring those apprehensions to Him, bring those areas to Him where we need help in surrendering those areas. And He's so faithful. He'll take us by the hand and lead us along, and He knows exactly where we are and what we need, so we can invite those areas to be surrendered to God. And I think of the story in Matthew 7 when it speaks about the wise man building his house on different surfaces, right? And I will read it shortly. But I would also say that the areas that we do not surrender to God, that can be bait for the enemy to use against us. So it is really important for us to get to the point where we want to surrender every area of our lives to God for our own protection and for the protection of our family. So I'm going to read Matthew 7 to you. It's verse 24 to verse 27. It says, "Build your house on the rock." And so Jesus is speaking here, and He says, "Everyone then who hears these words of mine and does them will be like a wise man who built his house on the rock. And the rain fell, and the floods came, and the winds blew and beat on that house, but it did not fall, because it had been founded on the rock. And everyone who hears these words of mine and does not do them will be like a foolish man who built his house on the sand. And the rain fell, and the floods came, and the winds blew and beat against that house, and it fell, and great was the fall of it." Oh gosh, there's a lot there to unpack. But yeah, which parts of our lives, of our TTTTs, our time, our treasure, our talent, our temple, need to be surrendered so that we are built on the rock and not built on sand, so that when the storms of life come, and they will come, that we are confident in our relationship with the Lord, and that we are wise in choosing the ways of the Lord. And that's what I want you to think about today. How do we need to surrender more to God so that we can be protected in the storm, not against the storm? We are not storm free, Life as a believer doesn't mean there's an absence of storms, but it means that we become storm-proof. And so, yes, be encouraged, surrender to God, and yeah, then you'll have a firm foundation when the challenges of life comes. So, bye for now.